Today we are doing page 141 and 142. More work with least common multiples. And for the first part here, we have to complete the chart that they give us. We've been doing this same thing for the last two assignments. The numbers that are given to us are 6 and 8. And we need to figure out the multiples of 6 and 8. Remember, don't confuse multiples with factors. Multiples will get bigger than the number. So 6, multiples of 6 are, 6, then 12, then 18, then 24, 30, and 36. Multiples of 8 would be 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. I didn't do it. Make sure you do. We got to throw in our commas to separate the numbers. Otherwise, it looks like big, giant numbers. And then also at the end, we need to remember to put ... saying that those numbers, those multiples continue, but we're going to just stop there. So in the next box of our chart for this first part with 6 and 8, it's asking for the common multiples. What do both 6 and 8 share? What do they both have as multiples here? Well, I look up and down our chart here and I see that 24 would be one that they shared. If we went farther down, eventually you'd see a 48 would come up on both of them. And that would be another one that would be shared. You could write that down. So we have 24 and 48 for our common multiples. 24 and 48. And then the next box is asking for the LCM, or the least common multiple. Well, out of these two, the lowest is 24, so you just need to write 24 in the box. All right, next one has 3 and 4. Multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and I'll stop there with 3 dots, saying that it goes on, it continues. Our multiples for 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and I'll stop there. Put my 3 dots showing that that goes on. These are our multiples for both 3 and 4. Now we need to find our common multiples. What do these share? What are our common multiples? Well, when I look down this list, I see they both have a 12, and then they both have a 24, a messy 24 by Mr. Fitt, but they both have a 12 and 24. So our common multiples here would be 12 and 24. I'm going to back up a little bit here. And I'll do this line better here like our box they have there. So our common multiples are 12 and then 24. And then out of those two numbers, 12 and 24, our LCM, or our lowest common multiple, is 12. All right. What's nice is they did the next one for us with the multiples of 2, 4, and 6. And I think they did that so we can see what you do if you have three numbers being used. And then the next one, we have that, 3 numbers being used. A 3, 5, and 15. 3, 5, and 15. 3, 5, and 15. All right. Let's see. Try to make my 5 a little more readable. 3, 5, and 15. So we'll start with multiples of 3 here first. 3 we need to write. 6, 9, 12. Sorry, it's hard to read. 15, 18, 21, 24, and we'll stop there. I need to change pens. If I can get a pen that will work better on this one. Let's try this. And then our multiples for 5 now will be 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and we'll stop there. And then our multiples for 15 will be 15, 30, 45, 60. These are getting big already. I'm going to stop there. Dot, dot, dot. Up here, I didn't do a dot, dot, dot. And now let's find what are our common multiples between the 3 numbers now. Well, they all have a 15. And if I was to continue on 3, I would find out that they both would have a 30. So let's write that down. And then like above, let's do dot, 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 saying there's probably more multiples. There are more multiples, but we're going to stop there. And then our LCM, our lowest common multiple for this, is our 15. That would be our lowest common multiple. Okay, so we finished the chart. We're going to move on to number 2. Number 2 says, give the least common multiple for each. Try to find the answers mentally. So what we're doing in 2 is we're doing the entire chart above, but kind of in our head, if we can do that. So let's start with 2a, and they're asking with 3 and 6, what would you get for your LCM? What would be your lowest common multiple for both 3 and 6? I want you guys to write a number down on your blank and see if you can get it right. And I'll count down from 10 and then I'll give you the answer. What would be the lowest common multiple for both 3 and 6? 10, 9, 8, 7. Write something down. Write down what you think it would be. 2, 1. All right. So 2a, the answer is, for the LCM, for both 3 and 6, the lowest number that they both go into would be 6. And you need to write that down. If you got it wrong, erase it and put the right answer now. 6 would be the lowest number. Because think, your multiples of 3 would be 3, and then 6, and then 9, and that would keep going. And then your multiples for 6 would be 6, then 12, then 18, and that would keep going. And your lowest common multiple here is the 6. So that would be it there. Okay. Let's try the next one. 2b. It gives us 5 and 7. And go ahead and write down what you think your LCM would be. This is a little harder. It's going to be a lot bigger of a number. Think about, what does 5 and 7 both go into? What are your multiples for 5? Well, 5, 10, and it keeps going. And then multiples of 7 would be 7, 14. It keeps going. Well, I haven't shown the answer here. It's going to be something even bigger than that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your LCM for both 5 and 7 is going to be 35. That is going to be the lowest number that they both go into. Go ahead and write 35. Think about it. 5 times 7 is 35. So we do know that works. It's just it would have taken a little work, a little mental work to figure out if there's a number smaller than that they both go into. All right, our next one is 2 and 8. What is the smallest number that 2 and 8 goes into? What is our LCM? And one thing that's true is we know that the lowest number that 8 goes into is 8, then 16, and then more. 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, with 8 being the lowest number that 8 goes into, we know 2 goes in 8. Our LCM is going to be 8. Hopefully you got that one right. Go ahead and erase it and correct it if you did not. Next one, 4 and 6. 4 and 6. What's our LCM going to be for 4 and 6? The answer is 12. 12 is going to be our LCM. Next one, E. We have 2 and 3. Write down what you think the LCM is going to be, what the lowest common multiple is, what the lowest number that 2 and 3 both go into. The answer is 6. 6 is the lowest number that they both go into. F. We've got 3 and 5. The LCM for both 3 and 5, the lowest number that 3 and 5 both go into is 15. 15 is the lowest number that they both go into. G, a little more tricky because they give us 3 numbers, 3, 5, and 8. And we have to figure out what the LCM is. This is very difficult here. It's going to be a giant number. It's going to be a giant number. 3, 5, and 8. And you got to think your multiples. I'll give you a big hint right now. It's over 100. It's going to be over 100. I'll give you another hint. It's going to be less than 130. I'm going to leave that one to you guys and make you guys try to figure that out. You might have to do that later. That one's going to be really hard. But my hint to you is more than 100, less than 130. You can do it. I believe in you. You guys are very smart. Let's do H. H is 15 and 30. What is the lowest common multiple for 15 and 30? This one we have big numbers to start with, but it's still kind of an easy one. Your multiples of 15 are 15 and 30. Oh, there it is. Because your multiples of 30 would be 30 and 60. But your 30 is what you need. Your LCM is going to be 30. Okay, I, we have 3 and 9. What is your LCM for 3 and 9? The lowest common multiple of both 3 and 9 is 9. Okay, now we have 2 story problems. The first one says, Alexandria made 24 quarts of delicious, sweet lemonade. And it's asking us two questions. The first question is, how many gallons did she make? And then the second question is, how many pints did she make? So we have to answer both of those. Let's start with the gallons. We're going from 24 quarts to gallons. So we're going 24. And we've got to do our 1, 2, 3. First step, are we multiplying or dividing? We're going from quarts to gallons. That's smaller to bigger, so we are dividing. Now, what's your special number? What you're thinking about is, how many quarts are in a gallon? Well, there's 4. And now, easily we can do 24 divided by 4. For our first answer, we're going to get 6 gallons. Please write that down. And then we have to do another answer here. We also have to figure out how many pints. Well, we start with 24 again for pints. Now we're going from we're going from quarts to pints. Are we going smaller to bigger or bigger to smaller? This one we're going bigger to smaller, so we need to multiply. How many pints are in a quart? There's 2. So for our third step, we need to do 24 times 2. 24 times 2 will give us 48. Please write 48 pints. Because I need to know 48 what? 48 monkeys? 48 ice cream cones? Nope. 48 pints. Next story problem, B. Morgan must ride his bike 5/8 a mile to Bayberry Christian School. Caleb rides his bike 3/8 mile. How much farther must Morgan ride than Caleb? A lot of words, but it's very simple here. We are just doing 5/8 minus 3/8 to figure out the difference. That gives us 2/8. And remember, all problems must be reduced if they can be. So 2/8 here. What goes into both 2 and 8? 2 does. How many times does 2 go into 2? It goes in once. How many times does 2 go into 8? It goes in 4 times. So our answer is 1/4. Let's put 1/4 mile. Okay, number 4. It's telling us to add carefully. We have 3/4 plus 1/4. We add that up and we get 4/4. Remember, any number over itself equals 1. And that is our final answer. Because 4/4 is an improper fraction. And we have to make it proper, and we do that by saying how many times 4 goes into 4? It goes in 1 time. The next one, B. We have 5/8 plus 7/8. When we add these, we get 12/8. That is an improper fraction, because the bigger number is on the top. So we need to think, how many times does our bottom number go into the top number? How many times does 8 go into 12? 8 goes into 12 1 time with the remainder of 4, but we don't write R4. We write a fraction with the 4 being on top and then the 8 going on the bottom. And so our answer now is 1 4/8. But there's a problem still. Like I said, we need to make sure our problems are completely reduced. And this can be reduced. What goes into both 4 and 8? 4 goes into both. How many times does 4 go into 4? It goes in 1 time. How many times does 4 go into 8? It goes in 2 times. So our final answer is 1/2. Next one. 3/5 plus 4/5. 3 plus 4, we get 7. So our answer is 7/5. That is an improper fraction because the bigger number is on the top. How many times does 5 go into 7? It goes in 1 time with 2 left over. And then our bottom number stays the same. That's already reduced. It can't become any smaller, so our answer is 1 2/5. D, we have 5 3/11 plus 9 2/11. Let's do the fraction part first. Add them up. 3 plus 2, we get 5. The 11 stays the same. And then 5 plus 9, we get 14. There's nothing that goes into 5 and 11 besides 1, so that doesn't do anything. So we have completely reduced it, or it does not need to be reduced. 14 5/11 is our answer. Let's look at number 5. 5 tells us to circle the fractions that are in lowest terms. That means circle the ones that cannot be reduced anymore. Well, can 1/2, can that be reduced anymore? No, so we need to circle that. What about 2/6? Can that be reduced? Yes, because 2 goes into 2 1 time and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So that can be reduced. So don't do anything to that one. Don't circle it. Don't cross it out like I did. Just don't do anything. 3/4. Is there anything that goes into both numbers besides 1 evenly? No, there's not. So we need to circle it. 1/7. Is there anything that goes into those? No. So we need to circle that as well. 4/8. Yeah, 2 goes into both, and 4 goes into both. 4 goes into 4 1 time, 4 goes into 8 2 times. And you don't need to write this, I'm just showing you that you need to realize it can be reduced. Next one, 12 and 14. Yep, 2 goes into both of those, so we're not going to circle that. 3 and 9. 3 goes into both of those, so we're not going to circle that. 5 and 12. Wait, let me think. 1 goes into both. That doesn't do anything. 2 goes into 12, but 2 doesn't go into 5. You know what? We're going to circle this because there's nothing that goes into both that is already in its lowest terms. 15 and 20. 5 goes into both. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 5 goes into 20 4 times. You don't need to write that, but we need to just know that this needs to get circled because it can be reduced. Whoa, I did that wrong. Don't circle that one. So back up 15 and 20. We don't circle it because it can be reduced. Just testing you guys, seeing if you're paying attention. All right, next one, 6/9. Is there a number that goes into both 6 and 9? Yes, 3 does, so we will not circle that one either. All right, let's look at 6a. 6a it's telling us to average, and we have 3 dollar amounts given to us. Oops. $3 amounts. I almost made an 8. I don't know why. $7.29. $8.32. And $15.41. What we need to do is add those up first. When we do that, we get $31.02. If I was to add that up correctly, I'd get $31.02. Now, keeping that number to average, we're going to take our $31.02 and we're going to divide it by how many dollar amounts we used. We used 3. We used $7.29, there's 1. $8.32, there's 2. And $15.41, there's 3. All right. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 times 3 is 3. Subtract. We get 0. We bring down our 1. Oh, I'm going to run out of room. I'm going to write a little smaller here. How many times does 3 go into 1? It doesn't, so we're going to put a 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Subtract. We get 1. We need to bring down our 0 now. 3 goes into 10. How many times? Hey, did you notice what I just did? I just put the decimal point straight above there. You need to do that too. 3 goes into 10. 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, you get 1, and now you bring down your final 12 here. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm running out of room. Hopefully you can write it though. And so our average becomes $10.34. Now we got to average this next one. It's not dollar amounts, but it's a bunch of numbers. 43, 27, 35, 61, 57, 49. We got to add up all of those numbers. After we do, we're going to get 272. We take our 272 and we divide it by how many numbers we used. Well, we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to divide it by 6 numbers. 6 goes into 27. Let me back up. And let's practice our old steps of dad, mom, sister, brother, and rover. Okay, first our dad step. Divide 6 into 2. Does it go into 2? No, so we'll put an X there. Then 6 into 27. Does 6 go into 27? Yes, it does. We're going to take our estimate number here and put a 4. Now we do our mom step of multiply. 6 times 4. We get 24. Now we do our sister step of subtract. 27 minus 24, we get 3. We do our brother step of bring down the 2. And now we do our rover step of repeat or remainder. Here we're going to repeat. So we do dad again. Dad is divide. 6 into 32. We're figuring out how many times 6 goes into our 32. 6 goes into 32 5 times. Now we do our mom step. Multiply. 6 times 5, we get 30. Now we do our sister step. Subtract. We get 2. We do our brother step, bring down. There's nothing to bring down. So now we're going to do our rover step of repeat or remainder. This is going to be our remainder. And our remainder goes to the top. Remainder 2. 45 remainder 2 is the average amount. Let's do 7. 7a. 3 over 6 plus 2 over 6. Add it, and we get 5, 6. Next one. 11/16 minus 4/16. We're going to get 7/16. Next one. 6,725 times 9. 9 times 5, we get 45. I'll put my 5 here. I'll carry my 4. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 4 is 22. So we'll put our 2 and carry a 2. 9 times 7. 9 times 7, 63. Plus 2 is 65. Put our 5 there, carry the 6. 9 times 6, 54. Plus 6, 60. And so your answer is 60,525. 60,525. D, we're asking ourselves, how many times does 21 go into 42? Well, remember what we've learned is, for our bigger numbers here, I mean, we know 21 doesn't go into 4, so let's start with that x. We know that 21 does go into 42, so we know a number is going to go where it just underlined. So, let's cover up our last numbers. How many times does 2 go into 4? Just for estimating, how many times does 2 go into 4? It goes in 2 times. So let's try that. What is 2 times 21? We get 42. And so our answer is 2. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys do 8 and 9 on your own. Go do it.